This is Chasing Night Shadows, and we are at one of our old haunts. I haven't been here since 2008. Johnny's been here a few more times.
Time or two since then, yes.
Yeah. And we're at one of the places that we've had quite a bit of activity. And you think we should give the location name?
Well, I mean, it's up to you. I mean, Matt Moneymaker done.
He's already been out here quite a few times. This is Standing Stone State Park. This is a place that we actually met back in 2004.
So that's who's to blame, the park.
Yeah, it's the park's fault. But this is one of the places I used to go to all the time, and I've had a lot of encounters, odd things happen right here in this park. And this is one of the places. This is called Glasscock Cemetery.
Yeah, there are multiple locations where we've had activity in the park. This is just one of
them. There's a number of different places that we've been to and had all kinds of stuff happen. I mean, this is
of course, there's multiple locations in the park that's just nothing.
Right.
You go there, crickets.
But then again, you said the activity isn't what it used to be.
No, it hasn't. It seems like since there was a bad storm several years back, and a lot of trees were down, tornadoes came through, it seems like that the activity died down then, and then there was just a huge run of people for several years that was into coon hunting. Mm-hmm. You couldn't even come out here for people running back and forth in trucks with dogs. So I don't know if maybe what was in the park has moved on.
Well, I think also the fact that it got out that there was activity in this park, which I think was hush-hush for a long time. And then with Finding Bigfoot and other shows, I think that kind of brought a lot of people here looking to investigate.
To find Bigfoot. So much notoriety has got started on this place. What'd you find today? The stickers.
Yeah,
at the office.
Oh yeah, the
Standing Stone Bigfoot stickers.
Yeah, they had Bigfoot stickers. I think there was a few other things that were associated with it, and they even had a 5K run, and that was years ago that they renamed the Bigfoot Run. So I mean, there's been more.
We helped get all that started.
I know, but it was more commercial notoriety towards that, and we tried not to use the name a lot. When we were coming out here and stuff, we tried to keep it hush-hush because we didn't want a lot of people to know about it.
But now everybody knows about it.
And unfortunately, word got out, and it's become kind of a hot spot for Bigfoot researchers. So I think that's hurt the amount of activity that we used to get here. But that's not to say that we won't get anything.
That's true, but I think maybe that what was in the park may have moved in some of the more wild outskirts on private land now.
That's possible.
Because didn't you say when you were coming in today that there was a little community not far from here that had a metal Bigfoot carved out or cut out or something?
Elijah saw it.
So clearly somebody in that area must be associating that area with Bigfoot.
That's possible.
So maybe the activities moved from the park to some of these more rural outlying areas.
Well, and there's other areas that we've been to, but they're too far to really travel because that takes almost 2 hours to get to from here. That we've had activity as well, but we're not going to say the names of those areas.
No, we're not, and we still don't have any guarantee that the landscape's the same because it's been.
Well, from what I could see in Google Earth, and
still
stuff,
looks similar.
It still looks similar, and the areas that we went to.
Now, didn't
really
we go out there with our buddy Gene a few years back and do a live show? Well, I know we went to.
That was in here. That was in Cooper Mount.
But didn't we actually go out there that night?
No.
No?
No, we didn't venture out there. We just stayed in the park. And then we drove back the same night. And I was like dying because I hadn't had any sleep in 24 hours. So.
Yes, it was horrible.
Yeah. But I do see one big ape around here. Right there. So, but anyway. Yeah, we'll see if we get any activity tonight.
It's not seeming hopeful. Even normally, when we'd come out here, you could sit on the porches, at the campground, not the campground, but the cabins, and you'd hear things hollering off in the distance, way off. But there's not even been any of that.
But yeah, but you know, it's really quiet tonight too. So I mean, it's kind of like when we went out there the other night to
Land Between the
LVL.
Legs.
Yeah, that was a real quiet night. I think that usually to me means there's something else in the area. Not necessarily every time because it is getting colder. So, but we've had in October where it was about this temperature, you could hear all kinds of crickets and nighttime sounds and nothing. Got a little bit, but it's not like it used to be.
One of the best recordings we ever got, we got right over in that area.
Yeah.
Yeah, it seems like something slapped the car when Latoya was with you, wasn't it? Or hit the car or
yeah,
something?
hit the car with a rock. And that was right near where she was sitting.
Scared that poor woman senseless.
Well, she didn't know what it was, but she didn't want to get back out of the vehicle. Yeah, we've gotten quite a few recordings out here and in the other area as well. So we're just going to start doing some calls. I brought a percussion box. Now, most people just get a stick and hit a tree. And we found years ago that if you use a percussion box, you get better results because it actually creates a sharper sound than if you were to just find a tree and, you know, do it that way. And this one has two different tones. One's a higher pitch tone than the other. So we're gonna, and I didn't bring my mallet for it, so I'm using just a regular stick that I picked up off the ground, unless you want to do it.
It's creepy how you're staring at me.
They have a special unspoken moment between themselves.
I don't know what his special moment was, but I was thinking, my goodness, that's weird. Why are you looking at me like that?
I'm listening. You're just in my field of vision. Gabby, you want to give a whoop? 'Cause we were actually convinced she was one. So sometimes you get results just by sitting around and talking. A lot of the time we've gotten just results just by hearing
yeah,
on
the research area in Middle Tennessee, we had a lot of response just sitting around talking.
Yeah, it wasn't something where you had to sit there and do a lot of calls and banging on trees and the normal stuff that people do.
You're not going to get activity every night, and if you do, you're probably not getting activity.
Well, it could be paranoia.
That's most likely it.
Yes, and there's a nut tree over there.
Yep, sounds like it. Autumn nuts.
Yeah, those autumn nuts. Did you bring your audio recorder?
Do you remember that I was sitting on a swing with my daughter when y'all came
You initially
and just
kidnapped
said,
us.
get in the car? You didn't bring my headlamp. You didn't bring my knife. You
Our
didn't bring my gun.
flashlights.
You didn't bring anything of mine.
That's all my fault, obviously.
It is. Not even a warning, just get in the car, let's go. And not until I get in do I find out we're going out in the field.
Well, I thought you had prepared because you were sitting there waiting for us for so long.
We
I
were
thought,
waiting
God,
for you. We just wanted to go sit on the swing.
Whatever.
We had
whatever.
no warning whatsoever. You were playing Cuphead or something last time we saw you.
Well, that was because of Elijah.
Hey, we'll
And I
blame
can't
him.
believe
can
my
dig it.
own son wandered off and didn't bring any of my equipment.
How do I get drug in this?
I don't know.
Well, somebody has to take responsibility.
I
So
think
this
it
is
should be
something that
me.
we used to do. We're going to try it tonight, and I've actually had some results with this. So one time, actually driving away, we hung this on a fence post, and as we were driving away in the rear view mirror, I saw it starting to move. So we're actually going to try and see if we leave it out, if it moves, or if something takes it, or anything like that. And we're going to put it kind of high, so, which I don't think an animal would run off with this, but you know, you never know. So let's see if we can find a tree. There's nothing low lying on this cedar tree.
Probably something closer out. Well, that looks natural.
That's actually just been placed up there. I think. Nope, that's actually attached. Okay.
Well, it's poking out the other side too.
Well, we're gonna. Without me falling.
Butterfingers.
Yeah, I know. We'll just hang that on there. Leave it like that, and we'll come back a little later and check it.
Now we get a little floating glow stick action. And now we get a little dipstick action.
Whatever. Alright, well, we're out here, and we came across this. This is a marker. It's very unusual because you've got this tree right here that it's leaned against. This one, all of them are in the ground still, and they've been kind of pulled together to make this. Woven. Yes. Because this one's sitting in the fork of this one, and then they've been pushed against here. It's just very interesting.
I would be hard pressed to think this is a natural formation.
Well, especially since they're still on the ground.
Yeah. If there was something that broke and fell out of a tree and just landed weird, it'd be one thing. These are literally still rooted.
Yep.
But we thought that this would at least...
Look at that. That is crazy. You can't budge it.
deserved at least stopping and looking at it.
Yeah, I just saw it from the side of the road. My headlights hit it.
The wind's picked up a whole lot in the last 10 minutes, actually. And the temperature's dropped.
Yep. But yeah, we just wanted to show that to you, and we're going to
see what else we can find.
Yep. All right, we're out in an area where a Bigfoot called Grumpy used to reside. Now, this was a place that Mary Green would come out. She was a fellow researcher that we lost a couple years ago. She passed away, and she would come out here and she would leave food and things of that nature, and was working on habitating the Bigfoots in this area, one of which was called Grumpy, that she had the most experience with. And I've been out here, and we've had something large come down the hill towards us, and has been just beyond the trees. But again, I haven't been out here in nearly 10 years, and I don't know if they're still out here in this area or not, or if the one named that is still around. So we're just out here to see if we get any responses or anything of that nature, since we have in the past gotten responses and activity in this area. We didn't bring any food. Usually we brought food. I usually brought them apples.
Time to find a new stick.
I think that's the signal for that. Yeah. I'm just not having luck.
So Nathan, you said that you'd hear sounds of him coming down from the hills. What does the territory look like here in the daytime? Is this just a trail that goes down into the woods, or is there hills up?
The trail here wraps around the mountain.
Mm-hmm.
There's a mountain here. You can't see it because it's dark, or a hill. And I've been back through here. If you go up the hill, there's an actual path that cuts into the edge of the hill. It looks like just a game trail, and it's well worn. And when you walk down this way on that trail halfway up the hill, you have a very good view of this path here, so you can see anybody coming and going. I did find a footprint on that trail years and years ago on 8mm, so it's like I don't have an 8mm camcorder to get it off of that tape, and I don't even know where the tape is anymore, to be honest. But yeah, this path here goes all the way around and comes back out on the main road here, if you want to call it main road. So yeah. Grumpy!
I don't think Grumpy's here anymore.
You never know.
For all we know, Grumpy may not even still be alive.
But yeah, different researchers that Wayne Murphy and others that I came out here with, yeah, he would just call his name because they were giving him food and everything, and he would just come down. Now, if he had other people with him, like myself and others, he wouldn't get too close, but you could definitely hear something very large coming down, making all kinds of weird calls, coming towards us. So whatever they were doing at that time was having an impact and was creating a trust between the researchers and the Bigfoot in the area. Now, whether they're still in the area, whether they've moved on because, you know, of more activity here, it's hard to say. But, yeah, this was a very active area at one point. And this was one spot I used to go to. And when I came with the people that were working with the Bigfoot in this area, we normally got some sort of sign when they were here. So, but again, that was like a decade ago.
And to be quite honest, we don't know what has happened in our absence since then.
Well, there's nobody who's been out here working in the same regards as Mary Green and her team that were out here, and they were working with the Bigfoot in a peaceful manner, trying to create a kind of Jane Goodall-esque trust and relationship. And I think a lot of the ones that have come out here that found out about the place have been more or less coming out here to elicit a response, not really to kind of have any kind of communication with them or build any kind of trust. And I think that's the thing, that since there's not that anymore, they're more than likely not as interactive as they used to be. I think a lot of the interaction was the result of the fact that there was that different approach to research at that time. And I think this area has been tainted by a lot of people coming in here with the wrong intentions, so to speak. It's just amazing to be back here. And it's awesome to be with some of my closest friends, or like family.
Yeah, me.
Besides Elijah. To come out here again, because this is where we all met. And Elijah was this, you know, little kid, well-mannered, well-behaved. I don't exactly know what happened, but we won't talk about that.
You were there too.
Yes, I was.
And her hair was super long back then. I think you were getting a ton of questions about your hair even back then.
Oh,
how long is your hair?
Yeah, how long is my hair? Are you donating it to Lots of Love? How long have you been growing that out?
Yeah. Did you kick that fence, Nigga? No. Okay, because I was like almost asleep, and I heard something sound like metal getting hit. And then I started hearing steps over here.
Sounds like almost like a tree knot.
Is it
Just so
grumpy?
you know, I know the difference between leaves falling, nuts falling, and footsteps.
Right. Well, there's a pronounced difference there.
Yeah.
Oh,
Maybe
it's like
I
a
was
break or
catching a
something
few-
right there.
Few winks here when I heard what I thought almost sounded like somebody kicked an old big metal can or something. So when I got to looking to see if maybe he was messing with that fence.
Yeah, I didn't touch the fence.
You think could be grumpy?
Who knows? So I just blew a whistle. Sometimes we use dog whistles. I just have this, which is a light, it's a flashlight, comboed with a glow stick, and it has a whistle on the end.
Groovy.
The percussion box, sometimes I just whistle or make a whoop or a call. So those are different techniques. Again, sometimes just sitting here talking, just acting normal can sometimes result in activity just because we're not paying attention and they get in closer than normally what they would. You know, going out in the woods with the intentions of call blasting and stuff of that nature, though we have tried it, I think is the least effective of all methods, because after a while they get used to those type of calls or sounds, and they know they're not coming from a genuine source, which they also might be hearing the audible tone of the speaker. If you're using a pretty large speaker, there is a hum or a buzz associated with it, so they might be able to tell that there's something off about that, but they usually don't create as an effective result or a consistent result basis as other forms. And sometimes just being out there and not engaging in that type of way, but actually trying to just out here having fun and stuff, can result in them being curious. If they're primates, they're going to have the same curiosity humans have in a lot of ways, where they're going to be like, well, what's going on over there? What are they doing? So sometimes I can draw them in closer than just coming out here and doing all kinds of foolish stuff. Not saying don't make calls, not saying don't do tree knocks, not saying, you know, do those different things, but vary your approach, and you might be surprised. All right, so we were over there talking, and while we were over there talking, you said you were in here trying to get a couple minutes
Yeah, I
of
was
sleep.
kind of catnapping here, and I just started going out, and I heard it almost sound like someone hit or kicked or something, a big metal can or something. So I looked out to see if you were over there messing with that cattle railing over there, and you looked like you're standing back. It almost sounded like you would have kicked it. And then I started hearing steps over here while you were over there talking, somewhere off in these bushes over here, these woods.
Okay. Yeah, but did you guys hear anything that sounded like a can being kicked or a metal sound?
No, I didn't hear anything.
Okay.
When we're coming back, I don't know, I could have heard some kind of like walking sounds or something, but
But you didn't hear anything like a metal.
I don't know about that.
Okay.
But it did seem like I heard some
It
kind of
wasn't a
walking
clanging
sounds
noise. You
or
know how, like,
something.
You kick something as a hollow metal or something
Clunk.
like that.
Like a clunk or a. Yeah.
But yeah, it was loud enough to wake me up,
Right.
and I'm surprised, really surprised you didn't hear it.
It could have been the angle at which we were, because I mean, we were over there and we were talking.
I guess it's kind of a goodly distance where y'all were, really.
Mhm.
It just
And right down here, there's like a bowl. It drops down drastically, not too far into the woods, and then there's like this bowl area.
now right over here, isn't this the area that Grumpy sometimes would approach from anyway?
Yeah, I think this was the area. I think from, if I remember Wayne telling us, it was right here that he stepped out in front of him. But yeah, I remember that time.
Did he hit a car or something one time, or lift a car? There was something about Grumpy in the back end of a car.
Yeah, I think he did do something like that when they were trying to get it. They were leaving,
Yeah.
and I think he did like lift up the back end of the car and then drop it. And he was recorded by Mary at least one time, and you could see him, as she pointed out in the video, and you could see him moving. They were aimed off in this direction. He was walking around to the other side.
Where's that footage now?
I have no idea.
And all that was on videotape, not any kind of good.
Yeah.
Right, it was standard def video.
Now let me ask, who was the lady that had Fox on her property?
That was Janice Carter Coy.
Did
And
we?
She came out here. Now I will say there's been a number of times, even though I do question some of her stuff, I will say that she was the genuine article in certain ways. I was around her when she made calls and stuff, and we had some, pretty amazing results. One of which was a forked tree that bowed to either side when she made a call, and it wasn't but maybe 10 to 15 feet away from us on the roadside. We were standing in the middle of the road.
That was out in their Spook Field.
Yeah.
Yep. I didn't see the incident, but I heard you guys going on about it.
Yeah, and it went like this, and she was standing next to me, and I was standing next to, I believe it was either Stuart or Mitch, and
there was like 10 cars full of people that night, so there's no telling who you're standing there.
But when it happened, because it wasn't that far away from us, she ran into me, pushed me back, and I kind of stumbled into whoever was behind me a little bit, and she was like, too close, and that's when the tree swung back like this, and you could hear it running off into the woods.
Somebody claimed that they got rocks thrown at them.
That was when a lot of us did, because when you walk further down that path, you could feel like it was like rain of little pebbles, and it just was a constant thing, and you could feel it hitting you, and you could see it. So it was little tiny pebbles, and it was me and a bunch of others that if you walked down far enough, you'd start getting pelted. So there was definite activity in the area that night, and I saw that tree just bow down on either side, and it was a sizable tree, and then it just took off, and when the tree went like that, you could hear something running off. Now Stuart's son, Chase, I think his name is, he saw something running off into the woods. He said it was a smaller Bigfoot, probably a juvenile. But yeah, that was a interesting night. I had my night vision, but I didn't get it.
I'm just amazed that we haven't heard really anything other than like a thump and some footsteps.
Well, like I was telling them, over there, yeah, I think with all the activity, because when Mary Green was doing this with her group, they were trying to do more of a Jane Goodall-esque kind of approach. They were trying to habitate, communicate. They were trying to have a relationship of, a friendly nature with them. And I think
it wasn't come out here and get it to perform like a circus monkey.
Exactly. And I think a lot of the ones that have come out here now, it's just kind of doing the standard stuff of call blasting and things of that nature that, they're probably like tired of it.
I've found that just hanging out tends to bring them more than all the tree knocking and the hollering. I think the more you hoop and holler, the less activity you get.
Yeah. I mean, it works to a degree, and you might get them in closer. But if you keep doing it, I think they're just like, all right, well, whatever. But sometimes it can have an effect.
Pee or get off the pot.
Right.
Yeah.
But if they're like us, if they see somebody talking and having a good old time, laughing and everything like that, they're curious. They're going to see what's going on. So, yeah. Now, I've been down through here, and I was just talking to Johnny. This steeply drops off. It goes in a bit, and then it drops off into like a bowl area. It's a depression. And then when you go down through the depression, you go back up and you're on the hill that's back here. So, and then it's not that far. You can find the little footpath. Might try to do that tomorrow. But I wanted to walk back through here because Johnny said he was hearing stuff, walking through here and making all kinds of weird sounds. I don't think it's, like I said, necessarily bad to do a couple calls and things like that, but I just don't think you come out here call blasting, doing a bunch of banging and stuff of that nature, because more than likely you're not going to get any results. They're intelligent, you know, more than likely they know they're not other Bigfoot. So, just minimize what you're doing, don't kind of overdo it.
Well, I mean, in the same way we can tell a regular owl call from one that sounds a little sketchy.
Yeah,
I'm sure they
when
can.
It goes into some weird stuff and, you know, all kinds of weird things. I mean, some that sound like a chimpanzee out in the woods.
Oh, yeah.
So, Grumpy, are you out here anymore?
Have they left the area? Are they still around? The place where it all began for me and rendered many experiences seems to have been abandoned, but our search for answers will continue as we look for more fruitful ground. Remember to like and subscribe, and check out our Facebook group, Chasing Night Shadows, and our website, chasingnightshadows.com. Thanks for watching.
I wonder if Grumpy's even still, you know.